Welcome to another episode of A Breath of Fresh Jacob, where... Alright, look, I was doing the whole spinny thing this time. Like, I was ready. I was doing the spinny thing, because last time I didn't do it, because the cat was asleep on my foot. But now, the cat's asleep in the tree, so I was, like, facing that way, just talking to the kitty, and it was, like, rolling over and doing cute shit, and I got a little distracted. Anyway, hi. Welcome to A Breath of Fresh Jacob. Today's question comes from Taki Time 333 and asks, how does being a full-time content creator affect your perception of video games? That's a really good question. That's also a very painful question. It does a lot. So,
really, do we need an explanation for that?
While it's not a one-to-one ratio, it does mean that video games are work. There's a lot more to it than that. You know, you've got how you present yourself and the comedy that you do and the reactions that you do and everything. So it's not like the video games make up all of the work, but it is a very important and pronounced part of it. We all like to have fun. So when your principal idea of fun ends up becoming your work, it does lead to some disconnects. Luckily, in the case of video games, fun becomes work, but work becomes fun. It's work, but I'm still enjoying it, and that's fine. However, I don't want to play video games in my free time. Like, if I have a day off, I'm not going to be playing Crash Bandicoot, or Spyro the Dragon, or even Final Fantasy VIII, or Brave Fencer Musashi, or any Zelda game. I'm not going to be playing those because I have to do those for stream. I have to do those for work, so I'm not going to do it on my day off, you know? It does kind of bite just a little bit. I mean, over 6 years now I've been doing this. I'm used to it, so it doesn't bother me. But it is an absolute factor in being a content creator. And it's something that you have to be mindful of. Another thing that I would say that matters, especially when it comes to newer games, or certain older games, I suppose, is not all video games stream well. RPGs can sometimes fall into this category. When you end up having to stream a game and you're not enjoying it in your free time, but instead it is work and people don't really care about it, or it doesn't really do well on stream, or it's just not designed for streaming. Because there's a lot of games that are like that. They just don't work as well. That sucks because it can affect someone's enjoyment of the game that they're streaming. So a game that I might have otherwise liked, I will not like because I have to stream it. But I would not have the time to play it on my own if I were to try to play it on a day off, because I'm going to be doing other things on my day off, to things that are not video game related. So it creates this vicious cycle that's kind of sometimes. It does affect enjoyment. If you play a game and you're excited for it, but you know it's not going to stream well, and it doesn't stream well, it can make you feel gross. You put work into something and it fails, that never feels good. So, you know, I have a really good example of this. Sometimes the way that games are designed based around how you have to or can't stream it can make me just not want to play it. Great example I have of that is the Squeenix Guardians of the Galaxy game. It has so much copyrighted music in it that I cannot stream it without just neutering the game to shit. Oh, it has a streamer mode. Yeah, it takes all the cool music out and replaces it with subpar music. I hear it's okay, but it's not the same, right? Especially with Guardians of the Galaxy. Have you seen that movie? The soundtrack makes it. And you lose all that if you try to stream it because of how copyright laws are, because, ooh, there's a conversation for another day. I will never play that game. I'm not going to play it in my free time. I don't care enough about it to play it in my free time. I would have enjoyed streaming it, but I'd have to neuter it to the point where I'm not going to enjoy it as much, and people are going to miss out on some of the best parts of it. Why even bother? Luckily, it doesn't happen that often, but it is a factor that occurs there. Another thing is, as a content creator, spoilers are just a thing you got to learn to live with. You can put no spoilers in your chat, you can put no spoilers in your tags, and you can have the most diligent mod force on Twitch to get rid of people that try to spoil things for you. It does not matter. You are never going to experience something completely spoiler-free as a content creator. It's just the way that things are, and it sucks, but again, it's something that you kind of get used to. Luckily, you get to usually save yourself from big reveals, but there'll always be tiny little nuggets of something that get foreshadowed or spoiled or whatever. Great example, you'll be doing something in a video game and someone in chat will just do colon end parentheses, little smiley face, thinking they're being clever. Oh, I'm not actually spoiling anything, but they're implying that something's about to happen or whatever. That's still a spoiler, dickhead! Spoilers are, yet again, another conversation for another day. But speaking of chat, here's a dual-edged sword for you. Sometimes your chat being overzealous can kind of kill a game for you, where they're constantly trying to hold your hand, or they're constantly like, ooh, this part's really cool, I hope you enjoy it the exact same way that I did, and then you don't, and they get pissy about it. It can kill a game, because they want you to experience something the same exact way that you did, and when you don't, and it's a whole mess. But the flip of that is true. Sometimes you play a game, and you get to enjoy it in very unique ways that most other people can't enjoy it, because you have a chat to enjoy it with. And that is some of the coolest shit. Unfortunately, you tend to get both things. Sometimes you get overzealous people, and sometimes you get a chat that's like super chill, and you all get to experience this really cool shit together, and It takes what would normally be a single player individual experience and you've turned it into a social experience. It's like one of the coolest things ever and I love it. It's one of the best parts about being a content creator, but I digress. No, actually, no, that's it. And I don't digress. That was it. I think I covered everything I wanted to say there. But thank you, Taki, for the question. That was a really good question. And I hope that gives you guys a little bit of an insight into how content creation affects perception of video games. When your content is primarily based around video games. If your content is based around just chatting, then none of this really applies, but you know what I mean. You guys pretty much know the kind of content creator I am at this point, but hey, if you're new here and you don't, guess what? I play a lot of fucking video games. That's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you share it with your friends, you know, the usual spiel. And, oh my God, I just realized. It just clicked in my brain. Last episode, I never gave you guys a lyric send-off like I usually do. Wow. Well, ain't that a kick in the...